So, in the last video we spoke about Tekken and the countless crimes committed by the Mishima clan. So, how about today we focus on something a little lighter? Cardcaptor Sakura. This series needs little introduction. Made by the group Clamp, the series stars Sakura Kinomoto, who's off on a quest to collect all of the scattered Clow Cards, joined by the guardian of the cards Kero, her best friend Tomoyo, who films all the fights, and her rival, Li Xiaolang, who seeks to collect all the cards as well. She balances this mission with her day-to-day life, including school, crushes, and the like. I read the manga a little over a year ago, and it's quickly become one of my favourites, and I'm not the only one who thinks as such. It still garners a lot of love and attention 28 years after its debut, even getting a sequel years later whose anime adaptation is set to continue sometime in the future, though the manga is finished up already. Like most popular manga and anime, Cardcaptor Sakura was no stranger to a ton of tie-in games, especially during the anime's run way back when. From things like the animatic story game, to a few Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, to even a fighting game with other magical girls. These games all carry a ton of charm with them, however today I want to single out one of them to be the subject of today's video. Tetris, with Cardcaptor Sakura, Eternal Heart. Developed by Eureka, who have worked on other Tetris versions including Tetris the Grandmaster as well as Tetris 99 to name a couple, the amazing 3DS ports of specific NES games including Kid Icarus and Kirby's Adventure, to even fighting games like Street Fighter EX and even Tekken 7 and 8. The game, if not obvious enough, is Tetris with a Cardcaptor Sakura coat of paint. However, beyond that, the game carries an incredible amount of charm and small touches that make this game both a great anime tie-in game as well as just a great game in general. So that's the purpose of today's video. We'll go through the game's main modes and see what it has to offer, especially the story mode, which really is the main bulk of the game. So without further ado, let's begin! The title screen itself is already a nice touch if you ask me, invoking the imagery of Cardcaptor Sakura's third opening, Platinum, and even playing the song itself. This is something I only really saw in Dragon Ball games, where Chala Head Chala was quite frequent in its appearances. Funnily enough, all of the game uses the soundtrack of the anime, which again is usually either a special feature for big moments in other anime games, or DLC, or just not even there at all. It's also potentially an easy way to get copyrighted, but we'll take that risk. I should have mentioned, this game is fully in Japanese, never getting a localization for the West. However, the game uses hiragana, which is quite easy to understand, and again, if that isn't easy enough, the game's menus are fully voiced by different members of the cast.
Story mode.
We'll start with the main meat of the game, story mode. When you start story mode, you'll get the choice between easy mode and normal mode. As a disclaimer, puzzle games like Tetris aren't a genre I delve into much. But despite this, when greeted by the difficulty select, I, in all my pride, chose normal mode, which was the equivalent of Vegeta pointing at himself, which, if that's not a sign of things to come, I really don't know what is. The story mode covers the second half of the anime, the Sakura card arc, with Sakura passing Yue's final judgment and being dubbed Master of the Clow Cards. However, she starts having dreams of someone she feels like she knows but just can't put her finger on who. This same person keeps giving her trials, and these are what makes up the game's levels, 18 of them to be exact. Each trial, or level we'll just say, has a different gimmick with the goal of transforming each respective Clow Card with Sakura's magic, the magic of Tetris. I'll go through each one at a time to keep things organised, and going in the order they're played in the game too. So, honestly, for the first level, the Fiery, I don't have much to say. So I'll go into how this part of the game works. Unlike regular Tetris, where you have to see how long you can survive as the blocks get progressively faster, or even puzzle games like Kirby's Avalanche, I know it's Puyo Puyo, so let me get the second Kirby mention, where you have to beat an opponent. The objective of Cardcaptor Sakura's story mode is to clear the blocks with the gem inside. This will transform the Clow Card of the level into said Sakura card. Thanks to that being the objective, and thanks to things like hard dropping, you can make some honestly abhorrent block placements just to get the right texture node you need to fill the hole you want, and you can probably see me doing that right now in the footage. Some said cards will have a special gimmick attached to them, but I genuinely didn't see the Fieries. Sakura will watch you play and react accordingly when you clear a block or when you're close to losing. Same with Kero, who counts how many lines you clear. Beating each level gives you a still from the card's corresponding anime episode, and a narration from Sakura about what happened in said episode where the card was transformed, which, again, is a nice touch. So next is the sword. Again, one of the starter levels, so nothing too complicated. But you can see a bit more of a different layout, with the gems in a diagonal line, which I presume is meant to be like a sword slash. These first two cards are just a taste of what you're going to get into far later in the game though. Clearing said blocks transforms the sword and gives us another still, starring Sakura and Xiaolang. Again, not much to say, so let's move on to the next card. Now we're getting into the meat and bones. During the level, the floor shakes as if someone's jumping up and down for the jump card. This level makes you clear two groups of rows, one of which is suspended above ground, meaning you can't just clear the lines all the way to the bottom like before, especially if you want to save time. However, Cardcaptor Sakura knows this. The blocks that drop follow a set order and will never be randomized, meaning you'll be able to restart to try a different strategy or refine a pre-existing one. Something I did a lot. I should also mention that the pause screen of the game is the screen capture from the anime that plays in the middle of every episode. The set of blocks I got started with a line block, so I could clear the first set, but due to the second line of blocks being way more difficult, as they are all suspended in the air, you need to place your blocks carefully. However, you'll be able to beat it with just enough practice or trial and error. The flies level encourages you to dodge and weave through the blocks, especially my set of blocks which gave me a line to fill the gap. After that, I was just able to use the rest of the blocks to fill said gap. After enough practice, it actually becomes quite fun, especially with filling up the line block at the start. From there, I built up to the top line which opened up the rest of the matrix for me to clear. During the level, feathers fall down from the sky, something which can block the screen, but it never bothered me. The mirror. This one was hell. The gimmick of this stage is that every 3 block placements, the entire matrix flips. I won't lie, this one for me was super difficult. The massive amount of blocks at the top with the 3 stragglers underneath made this one a chore. Coupled with the Cardcaptor Sakura-san, Happy Cherry Tree Sidewalk, it was like this level was mocking me. My main objective was dealing with said stragglers below and then making sure I cleared the row suspended above air once again. Once I had that down and the pattern identified, the level was beaten. But boy, was it a struggle. The wind. In this level, your blocks fall faster, as if being pushed forward by a gust of wind, and you need to build them up to the top. Thankfully, the speed is quite easy to adjust to, and you can work your way up to the final gem at the top. Clear the lower gems, and the top one will be easy pickings. The flower. Another map like the mirror where you need to clear one layer of blocks to get to the ones below. With my set, I started with a square block and I had to work around the gap that placing it where I did would leave. Then I decided to change the set of blocks, something you can do by choosing to restart with different blocks, or tetrominos. I keep switching between them. It's the third option if you can't read. Combined with the music choice, this level felt like a taunt once again. The music tells me to be relaxed, but honestly, I was not. But a bit of thinking and trying different sets of tetrominos, I was able to open up the rest of the matrix, and soon after, I was able to beat the level. Before I cover the erase, let me preface something. I had to do 2 recordings of this game, because my footage was severely broken and stuttered. Because of that though, I had a better grasp of the game for the second playthrough, which has been the footage that you've seen so far. In my first run, I had 42 seconds to clear the level, which I thought was just the regular time allotted. It's doable after a ton of practice, but I would not recommend it. Sheep fall down the screen akin to the feathers, which is just a reference to the said sheep Sakura needed to erase in the episode. You basically just need to clear a path to the middle and clear the lines. Simple stuff really. However, it was after that I realised. Oh my god, I just realised something.
What?
You're on a time limit. You have to beat. You start the game with like a 20-fin time limit.
Oh.
Playing the game on normal mode gives you a flat 20-minute time limit to clear every level, whereas easy instead gives 3 minutes per level. What's more, in easy mode, the upcoming blocks will take the gems from the stage and add it to upcoming tetrominos, making the stages way easier by comparison. What I failed to realise in that instant too is that clearing a prior level with a faster time will refund said time limit that would have been lost otherwise, allowing you to potentially continue further. Because of that, I restarted the game. And while this footage is lost, I wanted to use it as an example to highlight the differences between normal and easy mode. Coming back, I beat the erase with little to no trouble thanks to my practice and was able to move on. Hi, this is Boss Zeke from the editing process. So there are a few things I forgot when it came to easy mode. So for example, the layouts of the stages are different, and also some of the ending C keys are also a fair bit different. You lose out the special credits, and you also lose the post game cutscene, which hints towards the second movie. Alright, that's me, back to the video.
この世で一番楽しいこと。それは予想できないことが。
To begin, Sakura had a little promotion. Going from her school uniform to the outfit she wears in the Sakura Card's intro, as well as the game's title screen. This is a nice touch to the fact Sakura's wardrobe will always be different every episode, thanks to best buddy and filmer Tomoyo. The Earthy's gimmick is that after 7 Texromanos hit the ground, another line will sprout out the earth. These lines will have the gems hidden inside, so you definitely want to clear said lines as quick as possible. By keeping your board clean in preparation for the rising lines, you'll be more than okay for this level.
本当にさくらさんの力は強くなりましたね。
Living up to its namesake, the shadow will darken the matrix, leaving only a silhouette and an outline. The outline shows you the spots to fill in, which made this stage quite a bit easier, or not even a difference at all. Thanks to the T-block my set gave me as well, it just became way easier, so sorry Shadow, you just weren't it this time.
Right, this is my promise I made to you.
まだ私の存在に気づいてもらっては困るのです。
The Maze. This stage is something. Its layout is faithful, since this card is the maze after all. However, since it's a maze, it's also infuriating. But again, like mazes, it's actually quite simple if you just take your time and think it through. Clear the topmost row and every gem becomes open. It's just then a simple case of making sure you can clear each other row, which is quite easy thanks to the maze's layout. Thanks to where the gems are placed too, this is made even easier. Think your way through this level, and you're greeted with Sakura's brother Toya and Yue sharing a tender moment.
もう少しですよ、さくらさん。
The illusion. Like the Earthy before it, after every 7 Texromanos placed, the entire matrix will be covered in a shadowy illusion, basically making it the Shadow's gimmick but actually challenging. The layout's weird as well, with nothing touching the ground and both sections of Texromanos having dips which make it a horrific layout to get past, taking me a ton of restarts. The winning strategy for me was to clear the top rows, not the dip, to open up the matrix more, and clear another row to open up the rest of the matrix. Weave some blocks through to clear the bottommost gems, and then I was able to finish the stage. Good riddance.
あなたなら絶対大丈夫です。
The Wood. After that hell, the next stage is, thankfully, a personal favourite of mine and the first of the final stretch. The Texromanos are laid out like a tree, and like the Earthy, lines will sprout out of the earth. This means you'll have to make sure that said tree is just filled out nicely, and again, once you do that, this level is quite easy.
こんな日はそっとしておいて差し上げたい。
The Thunder. Laid out in a zigzag pattern, I'm guessing like a lightning bolt, this level's objective is to clear the lines minimally, allowing you to zigzag from line to line. I wish I had more to say, but this stage is quite simple. That's not to say it isn't fun, because it really was. I guess it really is like a lightning bolt. You see it, and then you don't.
そろそろ終わりになりそうです。
The Glow. In this level, the gems are placed all about, and oh my god, it's just... wow. You're going to have to do a lot of weaving here, and once you clear the lowermost gems, then you'll be able to build up once again. However, just be worried about the positions of said gems, because they could screw you over in the level. Again though, it just takes a bit of thinking, and once you do that, this level goes down easy.
考えていたものとは違う展開になってきた。私はとても
The shield! A massive shield of Tetromino separates you from the gems. Unfortunately for them, it's super easy to break through. A few good Tetromino places will give you an entry point, and through that, just weave some blocks nicely and you'll be able to get to the gems and clear the level.
では始めましょうか。
The Watery. Last card now. Sakura's got a 3rd tier promotion and is now dressed in a brand new outfit, the one she wears for her final battle. With it, she also sports a very confident demeanour. Frankly, I would be confident too because this stage was really simple. Like the Thunder, there's lines in a zigzag-like pattern to clear, and once you clear them, you can access the wave of gems on the bottom left. Like, look how joyous Sakura looks. Even she knows this level is simple. So, after finishing that level, we're done! Or so you think. One more card is revealed, and upon heading into the level, you're greeted by the final battle. The true finale of the game.
私の名前はルビームーン。
私の名前はスピネルサ。
そして私の名はエリオン。前世の
エリオル君、どうして？
理由を知りたければ私の魔法を破ることです。では始めましょうか。
Our final trial begins with the light and dark cards. These cards are special. In the manga, these cards can only be caught together and are never seen separately. This is represented in the game with Sakura in between 2 of the matrices, which are exactly the same. After a set amount of time, the gimmick will switch. The left matrix will be covered in a deep darkness, while the right will be covered in a blinding light for a moment. So you have to keep your eyes on both matrices in order to get through the level. It also carries the same gimmick like in the Wood and the Earthy, with lines rising after a set amount of lines are placed, so you have to make sure you keep ahead of the rising blocks. It can be tough, but Sakura is determined, and if you are too, then you'll see the end of this stage.
苦労の作りしカードに古き姿に生まれ変わる。新たな主、さくらの名のもとに。
You'll be greeted with a still of Sakura and Xiaolang working together as your first reward. Then, you'll be thrusted into the ending of the game. Ariel and Sakura talk about her new duty and also reveals that he is the reincarnation of Clow Reed, the maker of the eponymous Clow Cards. After that, the game ends with a clip show of Sakura and Xiaolang's moments together, with Platinum playing in the background. I don't think I can play this. With an epilogue of Sakura and Xiaolang at the airport before he departs back home to Hong Kong, we see one more card get made. This is a hint to the second movie.
また会えるよね。
But that's not all the game has to offer. If you've got some friends, or simply just want to test your abilities, there's always the battle mode. We're given a roster of characters to start off with, including the 3 versions of Sakura, Xiaolang, Tomoyo, the guardians of the card Kero and Yue, Ariel, and his guardian Spinal Sun and Ruby Moon. After picking your characters, you're given the choice between normal mode and survivor mode. Normal mode is what we're about to delve into, but survivor mode is the same but adds the extra challenge that the Earthy and Wood cards did, that after every few text romanos are placed, more rise from the ground, giving you that extra challenge. You're also given the choice of normal, easy or hard mode, only if you're playing against a computer though. The battles play out like they do in other puzzle games. You need to keep your board clean and sabotage your opponent so that their board is filled up to the top. You and your opponent will also appear in the screen similar to how Sakura did in the story mode. Like Sakura, everyone has their own little animations for each instance, but my personal favourite is Xiaolang. The gems from the story mode make a return, and with them, you're able to do a multitude of fints that either help yourself or screw over your opponent. These differ between each and every character, so there's potentially more to your decision than just your favourite. It also encourages you to experiment, pick different characters and see which abilities work best for you. There are 2 hidden characters as well, their portraits blacked out. Sakura's older brother Toya, as well as his partner Yukito, who's also Yue's alter ego, make an appearance. But there's also one more secret character who doesn't appear on the screen at first. By putting in a special name at the leaderboard screen, you'll gain access to Meiling Lee, the cousin of Xiaolan Lee who only made an appearance in the anime. This was honestly a really nice surprise, as Meiling makes no appearance in the Sakura card arc of the anime either, since by this point, he had already returned home to Hong Kong. So I really didn't expect her here in the slightest. Obviously, like everyone else, the 3 bonus characters have their own special abilities, as well as animations for each little instance. It really shows that everyone had a ton of care put into them. Finally, there's the gallery mode, which is full of little bonuses. First of all, you have all of the stills from the story mode, and you have a choice to listen to the narration given on easy mode or the narration given on normal mode, as they're different depending on the difficulty you choose. You can also view the game over screens, of which there's one for each Sakura costume. You've also got a gallery of every single Clow Card, or more so the spirits that reside in each card. You're able to zoom in for a good look at them, and you can just see how intricate and just cool some of these designs are. You can also see Kero tell you which one is which and the order they're met in the story, though this can be turned off if you just want to have a closer look at them. In that same breadth, we also have a collection of every single Sakura outfit. They all have small differences depending on what type of outfit Sakura's wearing as well. The everyday outfits for Sakura have her holding no wand, the outfits from the Clow Card arc have her holding her original sealing wand, and her outfits for the Sakura card arc have her holding her star wand. Again, Kero is here with little details, but once again, that can be toggled on and off as well. You're also able to view each character's animations for the battle mode, as well as the cutscenes from the story mode. You can really see the charm that went into every character. Well, except Meiling. She didn't make it. And finally, you can also view the leaderboard once again, if you so wish. Revisiting Tetris with Cardcaptor Sakura reminds me about how good anime tie-in games can be. The game is full of charm and is full of nice little touches that I as a fan of the anime really appreciated. But beyond that, it's just a solid game and all. The gallery mode is full of charm and encourages you to unlock it all. The battle mode makes everyone feel unique and not just like a different PNG slapped on the screen. And most importantly, the core gameplay is incredibly fun. The arcade style encourages you to keep coming back time and time again to improve on your time, and since the blocks fall in a set order, you'll be able to get things down to a science practically. This is to the point where the gameplay style returns in Tetris Grandmaster 3, something that I strongly believe is proof that the game was solid on its own merits. Whether you're a fan of the anime or you just enjoy Tetris, I highly recommend giving this game a shot. I strongly believe you'll have a great time with it. A shame though that it's Japan only. I guess that makes it another one of many games that attract in Japan. But in a world with eBay and importing, it's quite easy to get a Japanese PS1 and get the game. Oh, what am I kidding? We all know what you're going through.